Hi, this is Evan Froch and Dr. Terry Simmons with the Dr. Terry Simmons Clinic Minute, which is where we answer submitted questions from our viewers. Just specific issues, specific questions. The last one we had Dr. Charlie Winslow delve a little bit deeper into certain aspects of Islam that people were curious about. Today we're going to look at since the Pope is in the United States, very big news. We're going to sort of answer the question, which is basically what are the Pope's motivations for getting politically involved to the extent that he has. So Terry, if you want to start something?
Yeah, my reaction to that is that the Pope is trying to make peace in the world. He's trying to say the Catholic Church is cleaning up their act. They're trying to, right some wrongs, with the situation with the wayward priests and all that drove a lot of people from the church. And I think he's trying to set a new tone. He's trying to clean out his financial house in the Vatican. I think that's part of it. But I believe Pope Francis is a real peacemaker in the same vein that John Paul was. Remember, John Paul paved the way in Gdansk to pave the way for a rapprochement, a peace, a possibility with the Russians. And Reagan took advantage of that. Solidarity was born, and you know the rest. So I think the Pope has the same kind of leverage here. And I think he realizes the fact that he was asked to come to the United States, first Pope ever to address Congress, did Mass, the whole thing, are highly symbolic and important for not just American culture, because there is a substantial slice of Catholicism in the United States, but mostly inter-American relations and others as a sample of what is possible. If you realize that he really paved the way for the new rapprochement between Cuba and Washington, where there are actual ambassadors now, so forward progress there, he can make the claim that he's involved and he has moral authority.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing that hasn't really been brought up a whole lot, but I think it's important, is his history. He's from Argentina. I mean, if you look at historically, Argentina, you could see why he would sympathize, perhaps more so than previous popes, with the plight of the poor, the plight of the third world. I mean, Argentina, depending on who you ask, was either the beneficiaries or victims of neoliberal global capitalism in the 20th century. So yeah, he has personal ties to that struggle, so which I think is, I don't think the Pope is as lefty or anti-capitalist as he's often made out to be. But I think he's definitely more of a populist Pope than we've had in the past, especially economically.
No doubt.
With his emphasis on human rights issues like the migrant crisis, like immigration from Mexico to the United States, issues like that. You're absolutely right. He is really a peacemaker, and he's a Pope with a definite eye to the economic welfare of the third world, which is, honestly, something you just don't hear about that often. So when you have a public figure of his stature, like the Pope, he's going to stir up some waves, and we've seen. The reaction from the political right to his visit and his speech today has been, fairly. They're a little upset or irritated, shall we say?
It's pronounced.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that it's an expected reaction. He makes waves wherever he goes, and he knows it's going to happen, and he does it anyway, which is a statement. I think he's saying, you can oppose me, you can disagree with me, but I'm going to say it.
Yeah. So
I think that's important symbolism, because look at the world we're living in right now. There's not a lot of peace out there.
Yeah.
So if one man, regardless of what color his suit is, makes some statements that yes, we should try to move forward and treat humanity with respect, those kinds of humanistic themes, I think he's going to get some attention. He'll get some negative attention as well.
I think he's really using his position in a very positive way. Whatever your feelings may be about the Catholic Church, it's sort of unarguable that the Pope is almost in a unique position to sort of exert and make these sort of moral urges to world leaders around the country.
We also forget that he's a head of state.
Yeah.
And he does have political weight. And so when he weighed in, the last Pope that tried to get in the middle of East and West was almost assassinated by the Bulgarian assassins.
Yeah.
So there are powers that pay attention to what he says. Long and short of it is that I think that he's going to push the position of the church forward. But more than anything else, I think he's going to start, if you can get him to set a rapprochement between frozen conflicts, like nothing was deeper than the Cuban frozen conflict, then use him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, that's our little brief talk about the Pope. We hope that answered your question, and we always invite response. We always invite comment to these videos and our articles that are on the SimmonsReview.com. So again, be free with your questions, and we love to answer them in future podcasts and these brief Dr. Terry Simmons Clinic Minutes as well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for watching.